Heyo and welcome back, gang. Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV. Today we have the biggest wrestling news story probably of all time to bring to you. The news that Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the founder, the creator of World Wrestling Entertainment, has officially stepped down from his duties as the CEO of the company, and the effects and the shockwaves are rippling throughout the entire wrestling world, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. Let's do it. Emotions are running at an all-time high all over the place. Here on the internet wrestling community, most definitely in the confines of the WWE, things are probably just all over the place, as I feel all over the place when it comes to the news that Vince McMahon is no longer running the WWE. These are words that I never thought I would ever say to you guys. Some fans are shocked because certainly we never envisioned Vince ever stepping away. We thought this man was going to sit in that chair until the day his heart just couldn't do it anymore and he was probably going to pass away on the job. This is something we all expected because we know he's a prideful person and that he would never just go away and hand his company to somebody else. Some fans are really excited about the prospect of him not being around because we've seen certain successes from some other people with talent, NXT, and we've wanted him to step away and hand the company over to more capable three-lettered hands. HHH, right? Something we all wanted for a long time. Who knows what it is like at all backstage with all of the talent and the staff, how they must be feeling. We do know that Brock Lesnar is pissed. Brock Lesnar is so pissed that the Beast quit. We didn't just lose Vince McMahon today, we also lost the Beast, Brock Lesnar. As of this recording right now, Brock said, as he walked out from WWE SmackDown tonight, that if he's gone, I'm gone. Brock Lesnar famously years ago saying he would never work in the WWE for anyone other than Vince McMahon. He's so pissed, he's not taking it very well, he's mad about it. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like and maybe subscribe to come back for more action from here at Sledgehammer TV. So here is the official statement from the man himself. Vince McMahon retires. This is courtesy of Raj Giri from Wrestling Inc. Thank you, Raj. Vince McMahon says, as I approach 77 years old, I feel it's time for me to retire as chairman and CEO of WWE. Throughout the years, it's been a privilege to help WWE bring you joy, inspire you, thrill you, surprise you, and always entertain you. I should be doing this in Vince's voice, but I'm afraid that it would just destroy my throat. There's just way too much here to... I would like to thank my family for mightily contributing to our success. And I would also like to thank all of our past and present superstars and employees for their dedication and passion for our brand. See, I do it like that. It's distracting. I'm not gonna do it like that. I'm gonna read it normal because I turn into fucking Boss Nass every time. Most importantly, let's continue on. Most importantly, I would like to thank our fans for allowing us into your homes every week and being your choice of entertainment. I hold the deepest appreciation and admiration for our generations of fans all over the world who have liked, currently liked, and sometimes even love our form of sports entertainment. Conveniently, he left out those who love to hate the company as well, such as people like ourselves. Our global audience can take comfort in knowing WWE will continue to entertain you with the same fervor, dedication, and passion as always. I am extremely confident in the continued success of WWE, and I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives. In particular, both Chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon and co-CEO Nick Khan. As the major shareholder, I will continue to support WWE in any way I can. My personal thanks to our community and to our business partners, shareholders, and board of directors for their guidance and support through the years. Then, now, forever, together. Those are the words of Vince McMahon to the public regarding his retirement. See, the man's just simply full of himself. You can't expect him to address anything. You know, it was a simple, straightforward puff piece to let everybody know that WWE has come to terms with the release of Vincent Kennedy McMahon and wish him luck on his future endeavors. I'm actually kind of sad. I'm actually kind of saddened by this news. Now, don't get me wrong. As we said, we've all been looking forward to this day for the last, 6, 7, maybe 8 years. I don't know. It should be a celebration. Part of me wants to be like, Vince is gone, now wrestling will be good. You know, I feel that, like, deep within my soul, but it actually makes me conflicted, and I'm kind of sad, and I'll tell you why. It's because all my life, all I've ever wanted to do was work for Vince McMahon. I wanted to be in the WWE, and that's because I've always had a deep love and respect for the art of professional wrestling, and I've also had that very same deep love and respect for the man Vince McMahon. Here's a man who has gambled his whole entire life on this industry. He took it from what it was and brought it to where it is. He went from selling merchandise in the back of his station wagon to being the CEO of the biggest wrestling company of all time. You gotta respect that. As far as business is concerned. We'll get into the personal shit later. But I think I'm also sad because I've always envisioned this moment a little bit more triumphantly for everybody. I thought maybe Vince would finally realize that it was his time to step down, as his statement apparently says, but I thought he would have handed the reins to Stephanie, or Shane, which is a whole nother story for another day, but as we also previously mentioned, or to Triple H. You know, step away from the company while it was at its heights, give it to some capable hands, and watch as he rode off into the sunset and his company could continue to grow and evolve. But that's not what happened here. And to see him go out the way he has to go out, it makes me sad. Not just because of all the disgusting, immoral shit the man did in his personal life to women, but if we look at it from a creative aspect, which is what we do here. We're not here to shit on the man for what he did in his personal life. We're here to shit on him for what he did to pro wrestling. What did he do to pro wrestling? Why does it make me sad? Well, because instead of doing what we like, or what we would have all wanted, which was to hand it over to somebody else years ago when he should have, what did we get? We got him sticking around way too long. He was creatively spent. He lost touch with this audience, the core audience, and the new audience coming in a long, long time ago. His decision-making skills were skewered by his own personal desires and agendas, which were formed by this weird corporate billionaire, ego that he has that he just couldn't get rid of. The man became more concerned with making money than making great stories or creating new superstars for people to latch onto. It was all about the dollars. And once he signed on with Peacock and had the WWE Network at the time, there was no reason or incentive for him to get us to want to buy the pay-per-views anymore, because we were just going to do it anyway, and we were going to watch it on these streaming services, which probably cut into their reasoning on, well, we don't have to make it a great show, because they're going to watch it anyway. we've seen wrestling go down this terrible, terrible path. I believe that he allowed his jealousy of the success of NXT to cause him to actively ruin it, which we all have seen happen, not just in the style of the show as NXT 2.0, the big giant piece of garbage that is, but what he does to all the talent that he's pretty much brought up from there. It's almost like a running joke at this point in wrestling. In the end, we have to talk about this stupid thing that's actually the cause of bringing him down. He'll never admit it. The way he words things, on his exit, he's making it look like, oh, well, it's just my time to go. But when you look at the timeline of everything and how it's all played out, we've had these allegations against him about a month ago, and then it turns up that he's been paying women off for, I guess, a long time. There are 3 or 4 other cases or whatever. I don't really want to get into it too much. I don't want to talk about any of that shit because it's disgusting. It's immoral, but it's actually what he did, as Chris Jericho has pointed out, was not illegal. So we never expected him to do what he did today. He was putting himself on TV. He was going to UFC fights. He was seemingly going about business as usual, but as the Wall Street Journal keeps coming up with more stories, and HBO Sports wants to do a real sports episode with the women who have been affected by the actions of Vince McMahon. When you look at it, you just have to believe the man's not going out on his own terms and that he's kind of being forced out. It's one thing if we look at these allegations as a thing of Vince's past that he did way back in the day and then made the mistake of paying off these women to keep silent and then went on to apologize to them, try to better himself, learn from his mistakes, and then move on. And as he grew older, change to become a better person. But that's not the story that we have here. It's actually the opposite. What we have is Vince McMahon becoming used to a certain lifestyle and having his ego call the shots, and that's because of a few reasons. One being his billionaire status. Right? When you get that type of money, you don't live by normal society's rules. And then you have the fact that he's got friends in extremely high places, so the man can weasel himself pretty much out of any situation. And he has proven this time and time again, and that ability to seemingly get away with it for such a long time went to his head, the problem mainly being that he's still doing it now in his 70s with this most recent story that has come up that has been the linchpin for this whole entire investigation into Vince McMahon in the first place. The man's ego took over, as we so often see with these billionaire types or these, rich, privileged men of society who live outside of the normal rules and do despicable things to human beings that should not be done. And is he getting what he deserves? Probably not. The guy's just going to be able to go off and retire. As we don't know what's actually going to happen with the company or to Vince McMahon, but he ends up just being another tragic tale. A tragic tale of how power corrupts indiscriminately and how money and wealth corrupts indiscriminately. And he has both of those things. He has wealth and power. A guy like Vince McMahon didn't have a chance. His brain was skewed a long time ago. Right? He's a product of the 80s, which is a time where everything was in excess and people were doing ridiculous, crazy things. And at the end of the day, Vince McMahon was undone by his own avarice and his greed and his lust. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad for him personally that he didn't turn out to be a better role model since I looked up to him so much. it's got to be hard for everybody else. Think about how a guy like The Undertaker might feel. Like we said, we know Brock's mad about it, but we don't know what he's mad at. He might even be mad at Vince for making the whole situation happen. I don't know. Brock's a Vince guy, so probably not. But you know, the tiring thing about this story, and one of the tiring things in entertainment in general, is that these days our heroes, or the people that we look up to and admire, are being destroyed. Either by terrible writing and bad creative decisions from studios like Disney, Marvel, WWE creative, or in this case, they're being undone by their own selfish, terrible actions, which is no fault of anybody's but themselves, and there are always consequences to those actions. And whether he understands it or not, the reason he's stepping down, I believe, and I think we all believe, is because of the scandal that has unfortunately reared his ugly head. It's tough to be a wrestling fan now, especially when you have these spaces in your heart for these people who turn out to be not as great as you hoped they would be. I mean, look at what's going on with Hogan and now Vince and guys like Ric Flair, and you know, everybody's always looking to knock everybody down, and you find something and then there it is, and now you don't feel the same way about that person anymore. You can't possibly feel the same way about that person anymore, knowing that they've said or done things that you yourself would never say or do, or any decent human being would never say or do. But like I said, we're not here to talk about the specifics of what he did, but just the fact that the world of wrestling is going to move on without Vince McMahon. And what's going to happen? We don't know. I mean, the last thing I've seen or heard on the internet before hitting the record button on this is that Stephanie and Nick Khan are now co-CEOs. I don't know what that means. Triple H has resumed his previous duties, which means he's got his old job back. That doesn't mean he's doing anything new. Apparently they're all going to be at SmackDown tonight, probably all going to be backstage at Raw. I don't know about Nick Khan, but at least Stephanie and Triple H. But I wouldn't get too excited. There's not too much to hope for at this moment for things to change in the WWE, because although Vince might be gone and might not be calling the shots, right now creative is being controlled by Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn. And we all kind of know how those two run the show, and we also know that there was always bad blood between Dunn and Triple H, so it'll be interesting to see how things move going forward. I don't know if Trips is going to have any control. I mean, that would just... all of us, especially the people that have followed me on this channel, the Sledgehammer Nation, as I call you guys, we've all seen firsthand what Triple H can do. We all know he has a firm grasp of how to do a good wrestling show. Some of you might disagree with that, but NXT was a success for a long time for a reason. And there's a reason why a lot of people dislike the version of NXT now. And that is because Triple H is black and gold with William Regal by his side and Shawn Michaels as well. It just was a beautiful thing. It really was. It was solid, enjoyable wrestling, unique individual characters, great entrance songs. It was the total package. And if you give somebody who has that type of an understanding control of this show, I think we're going to see a return to form to the WWE. It doesn't matter just that you went TV 14 suddenly. That's not going to change things when the two dumbasses that are writing the show are still a couple of old men who have been out of touch with the audience for a long time. So that's how I feel. That's why I'm sad. Let me know again how you guys think down in the comments section below. That's all I got for you guys today. We will be back with more as the news continues to ramp up, as the post-Vince McMahon era has begun. Will Triple H take control? Will the show get better? Will anything change at all? Only time will tell. Thank you so much for being here once again with me. My name is Nick Nightmare. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. I'll see you next time.